So my story is about how humiliation is not all it's cracked up to be. We're supposed to grow and learn from our humiliation, and I can think of myriad circumstances in my life where I've been humiliated, didn't grow, didn't learn. So I'm going to tell you about a couple of them. Okay, when I was a young married, after I got over enticing my husband, my future husband, with sexual favors, I realized that I had a sexual dysfunction because I didn't want to have sex with my husband. And this was a real problem for me because I was a married lady. And so when I went into therapy, I'm going to figure this out. And couldn't figure it out. There was no abuse, couldn't figure it out. Years of sitting there with the Freudian therapist going, what the fuck? What was really? Can we do this? And I eventually, with a spoon and a pitchfork, unearthed the deep, dark secret that I'd been hiding forever and ever and ever and ever. And I thought, if anybody ever knew, God, it would be so awful, that when I was 7 and I was left alone with the young son of whoever the hell my parents were having a party with, that I had exposed my genitals to him, my genitals, and his to me, and we both went, huh, all right then. But this was this humongous secret that I just was so embarrassed about that I couldn't let anybody know. And once I told the therapist and we both went, okay, so you were 7, get over it. Which is, I would say, give yourself a break, lady, about the racist thoughts that you had. So that's one area where the humiliation experienced at 7 that I was digging into at 27 hadn't helped me. It never helped me in any way. Roll forward, I don't know about y'all, but a humongous part of my youth was spent just wanting to be accepted. Always feeling out on the outside, always feeling not loved, not wanted, weird, stupid, bad, not acceptable somehow or other. Thank you. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I was going to fit in, and spent a lot of time feeling super, super bad when the least little slight would make me feel like, oh, they don't want me. Somehow or other, I'm not part of the cool kids table. And that was really bad for me. One night there was a sleepover. I was so excited. I was going to the sleepover. Everybody else always got to go to the sleepovers, and I didn't get to go to the sleepovers because I was the weird kid. So I got to go to the sleepover. And all the girls were sleeping upstairs in this split family house that I'd never been in before, and all the people who lived in the house, the brother that I thought was the coolest guy on the planet, and his sister were downstairs. And one by one, all the girls that were supposed to be sleeping upstairs got up and went downstairs. Of course, I was wide awake, and they all got up, and they went downstairs, and they didn't come back. And they got up, and they went downstairs, and they didn't come back. And then I was alone. And I did not have the balls to get up and go downstairs and join everybody else because I just didn't. I wasn't a joiner. I didn't know that it was okay to do that. I thought you had to be invited. You had to be wanted by the cool kids to go and be with the cool kids. A theory that I eschew today. I am the cool kids. Let them come and join me. However, at 13, not so much. So in a desperate, desperate act, I wish I could tell you why, don't know, climbed out the balcony deck of this second-story house, shimmied down the pole that was holding up the deck, walked through the backyard down to the railroad tracks, which were right behind the house, and sat there crying my face off, hoping, praying that they would come and rescue me. A desperate behavior that a lot of young people go through all the time today. Maybe not by the railroad tracks, but pick away. I'm sure you've heard a story about some desperate act that a young person goes through trying to get somebody, anybody, to rescue them, to show them that they care enough to go out of their way and come and get them from the railroad tracks. And they did. They figured out I was gone. They came looking for me, and they found me, and they invited me in. And I got to go downstairs with the cool kids. But guess what? Of course, It was all fucked up. It was all weird. It was all bad. They were just like, oh my God, she's so weird. And they didn't really want me there. They just sort of like felt sad for me because I was that messed up that I was down by the railroad tracks. But I felt like, wow, I'm finally at the cool kids table. And it took me at least a decade, probably more like 2, to recognize how really awful and distasteful and bad and yucky that whole circumstance was. And that being invited in wasn't all it's cracked up to be. You didn't say it had to be a happy ending, did you?